Warning: the following video may contain harsh language, crude humor, and may offend unintentionally, and is an affiliate of Scythering Productions. The opinions and comments expressed do not reflect those of the Scythering team. All credit and criticism shall be warranted to TWS Productions. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, all you wrestling fans. DM here. Papa Squad right here on the couch. Let's talk some wrestling. It's time for That Wrestling Show. Everybody, and welcome to That Wrestling Show. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on, but with the whole new year and Christmas are right behind us, well, I got kind of busy, but I'm back with just a couple of little bits of news and a fan email. Yes, I also respond to fan emails, and it's actually kind of a good one, which concerns Monday Night Raw. But why don't we break into some of the little bits and pieces of news that I've picked up, such as Eve Torres leaving WWE. Apparently, she is going to Gracie's Academy. She actually put in her release a month ago and just had to tie some loose ends with Kaitlyn. Apparently, Kaitlyn was the trigger girl. They were going to give her the title anyway. And, you know, Eve Torres leaving WWE, I don't want to say that, you know, this is going to be devastating to WWE. I mean, between you and me, guys, she was kind of the most interesting diva they had at the particular moment. I mean, they're not really doing a whole lot with Tamina. They're not really doing a whole lot with Natalya. Kaitlyn is... yeah, kind of boring, and I really can't get all that into her, to be 100% honest. Kind of sad that the Divas division is now down to 4, because we have Oksana, Kaitlyn, Natalya, and Tamina. That's all we have. Can't really count AJ, because she's more of a valet now. I know she wrestles here and there, but she's not doing much. The Divas division is not going to be around much longer, I predict. And to be honest, I kind of want it to go away because the rate that they're going, you can't have a division off of 4 people. You need to have at least 8 to have some kind of standard ground and some kind of standard founding. And I just don't think that WWE cares or has the manpower to come up with anything original. And just when the Divas were just starting to get a little bit of a push, a little bit more airtime, now they get squashed. So Eve Torres is gone. Surprise, surprise, but, you know, it seems like every diva that has even the slightest bit of talent, they throw away or they have other pursuits. And, you know, I can't really bash the girl for leaving WWE for other interests, but, you know, it's kind of sad that that's just the way things are. How about this? WWE is actually going to give Brock Lesnar yet another contract. They haven't quite signed him yet, but they're thinking about it. It's going to be the same kind of contract with limited TV appearances, limited pay-per-view appearances, same amount of money, and that's about it. Okay, WWE, I don't understand. What is the appeal with Brock Lesnar? This is a guy that burned your company, went to the UFC, did his thing, and came back. He's not doing anything for your company. He's not bringing in ratings. He's not pulling in money. He's not doing anything for your company. It's like hiring a celebrity just to show up and get a little pop. Is that what it is you're looking for? You just want that little pop of realism? Guys, it's Brock Lesnar. It's no big deal. It's Brock Lesnar. And those of you that are wondering, is he going to fight Taker? Well, rumor has it, probably not. I really don't think he's going to be fighting Taker because he's kind of getting up there in age. And from what we've been told and from what everyone has been saying, he's kind of banged up and kind of hurt. I really don't see it possible, to be 100% honest. And, you know, I would love to see Taker versus Lesnar again, but no, it's not going to happen. He's too old, and Lesnar's just too strong, and his style is just too unforgiving. And to be perfectly honest, I really don't care if we don't see Brock Lesnar ever again. I think they're doing just fine with CM Punk being the Brock Lesnar type character where he's cutting promos, cutting people down, and beating people up. That's all you really need. Just, you don't need Brock Lesnar. You really don't. He's a morning glory. Be done with him and stop. And did you guys hear this bit of news? Hulk Hogan is actually suing the Tampa-based laser spinal surgery company back in Tampa, Florida, for $50 million. Yeah, he's actually going on a limb and suing them for doing unnecessary back surgery on him that actually cost him a spot against John Cena in 2009. Okay, Hulk. Oh, God, this hurts my head. I don't know what you wrestling fans think of Hulk Hogan. I don't know if you guys even care about him anymore. The fact that Hogan is looking for money and he's going sue crazy. He was suing Gawker.com not long ago, trying to get money off of them off of the sex video. But the best part is, if you're going to put a sex video out, we already know who the culprit is. It was Bubba the Love Sponge. Why didn't he go after him? No, he sued Gawker.com, not the guy that actually released it. You know, that's like suing the distributor, not the supplier. Oh, Hogan, you fucking idiot. So, because of his unneeded back surgery, or unnecessary surgeries that they did on him, he's suing them because it cost him a payday against John Cena in 2009. Hogan, if you were to take an AA from John Cena, you would be dead. You would be crippled, and there is no goddamn surgery around that would keep you going. Just stay in TNA, rot, and fucking die, to be 100% honest. I am so sick and tired of all this Hulk Hogan bullshit. It seems like every single week he's either suing somebody or doing some kind of stupid angle and whatnot. And, you know, maybe the writing is on the wall. Maybe Hogan is just a wrestler and nothing more. And, you know, back in the 80s, we never would have thought that this guy of all guys would, you know, be so hard up for money. Hogan, they did back surgery on you. You could have told them no. You know, you didn't have to sit there and say, yeah, give me surgery. And this was back in 2009. You waited 3 years for this? No. Hogan, you're done. Give it up, pack it in, and go away. And get this, WWE is actually going to be buying more equipment for their HD sets, more equipment for their cameras, and they're actually going to try to experiment with 3D. Yeah, they're actually going to try to do 3D. Now, while I scoff at the concept because 3D wrestling is just, it's not going to work. I'm sorry, it's not going to work because the equipment's way too expensive. It's too expensive to broadcast. The equipment alone is just infamously just, no, it's not going to work. The reason why WWE is doing this is because New Japan is doing this. New Japan has been experimenting with this for a while. And they're claiming that by the end of 2013, New Japan is going to have 3D wrestling. If New Japan can do it, WWE will find a way to do it and make it suck. 3D is a fad. It's nothing more than just a fad. It's going to go away, and people are going to just ignore it and pretend it never existed. Does wrestling need to go 3D? I don't think so. Does wrestling need to go high def? I don't think so. Does wrestling need to be more storyline based and more sport based? Oh yeah, sure. If you want to broadcast it that way, that'll work even better. If you want it to be more crisp, more clear, sure, no problem. But 3D, guys, nah. I don't think 3D is going to be a way to go. Here's a funny bit of news that I actually picked up earlier in the week. There was a dude in Texas that got arrested for selling WWE tickets. And it wasn't the scalping, it was the fact that they were fake WWE tickets. Yes, so a guy goes and finds a way to make the WWE tickets, whether through Ticketmaster or by PDF or however they do it, because there's two ways to do it. You can go to the box office and get like a ticket stub, or you can go to Ticketmaster and you can print the digital one. What I find hysterical is people actually went and they bought these tickets, or they claim to have bought these tickets, and they're fake. And some group law enforcement in Texas, they caught him and they arrested him. And the funny part is he was using Facebook. Yes, he was using Facebook to put his name out there and advertise, I guess. Yeah, wow. Not the smartest thing to do, guy. But, I mean, I know WWE is hurting for sales and everything, but Christ, fake tickets? You gotta be a moron to try something like that. And the fan email that I was telling you guys about, believe it or not, it's right here. I have all my notes right here. It says, why was Monday Night Raw compared to last week so abysmal? Do you think that WWE has been dropping the ball lately? It seemed that the crowd was somewhat lively at Raw, but it felt as if it dragged on as opposed to last week that sped through. What is your take on this whole ordeal? and that was by slamavader@gmail.com. Very good email. Very good question, too. You know, I heard that Raw wasn't as good as it should have been. I heard from a fan report that the crowd was actually pretty lively through Monday Night Raw, with the exception of the Antonio Cesaro, Ric Flair, Miz thing. They were alive through it until the Miz put on the sharpshooter. Not the sharpshooter, the figure four. And you know, I think what it is we were expecting the Rock concert to be big and epic. We were expecting it to literally throw down the gauntlet and put Punk in his place, and it was the same old shtick. And I'm not picking on The Rock. He's just the focus of my anger right now. I'll come back to him in a second, but Monday Night Raw wasn't really that bad. I mean, I thought the wrestling was pretty solid. There were comedy segments, and, you know, no one really cared about the comedy segments. But I thought the wrestling was, you know, pretty decent all around. The women's match was all right. Punk versus Clay was, you know, as decent as it could get. You had the Alberto Del Rio Big Show segment, and, you know, that panned out to be, you know, somewhat decent. You know, I thought Raw, all in all, wasn't a bad show. It wasn't as good as last week, but this week's show was decent. I think the big problem that everyone's been complaining about was the ending segment. And, you know, we had a little thing with Mick Foley being announced that he was in the Hall of Fame, but if you went to WWE.com, you already knew that because they spoil their own stuff. But then the Shield gets involved and ruins Mick Foley's induction ceremony because he didn't get a chance to speak. But then you get Randy Orton, then you get Ryback, and then you get Sheamus, and it was just this whole, you know, mess. And some people were a little bit turned off by that because, you know, this is a Hall of Fame induction, and Foley didn't get a chance to speak. But, you know, it's Mick Foley, so. But why don't we get to the ending here? The Rock concert. It wasn't that great. I mean, I know there's going to be people out there that said it was awesome, it was funny, it was hysterical. It wasn't really all that great. You know, The Rock based his whole entire concert on Vicky Guerrero and Paul Heyman. And it wasn't that good. It wasn't, you know, I've never been a fan of The Rock, to be 100% honest. I've never cared for The Rock. I've never had a thing for The Rock. I prefer wrestling as opposed to shtick. You could talk the people into the building, but if you don't know how to wrestle, you're not going to hold my interest, and that's just the way I am. I was raised on Randy Savage. You know, he can cut a promo and wrestle, not just cut a promo and punch you. And I think a lot of the wrestling world, at least from what I've witnessed this week, has finally realized that The Rock's gimmick is old. Where CM Punk last week threw down the gauntlet and said, I'm going to quote, kick your ass and your arms are too short to box with God. All Rock could do was poke fun at him. That was the best he could do. You know, if there was a big guy who said, I'm going to beat you and the best you can do is you're wearing pink shorts or you're a cookie puss or my dick is bigger than yours. No, it's juvenile. I thought the Rock concert sucked. I thought it was juvenile. I thought it didn't fit. The way that they're trying to build this match, it seems as if Punk's trying to be serious about this whole thing. Kayfabe-wise, it seems that Punk's trying to be serious. He wants to have a match. He wants to have a fight. He doesn't mind the war of the words. But Rock's words, especially when he fought with Cena earlier in the year, they were nothing. It was just shtick. It was just comedy to just make fun of somebody. It didn't prove any points. It just made fun of Punk. Or early in the year, it was just to make fun of Cena. And when you have the other guy cutting The Rock down, there's no retort. It's just, he's a cookie puss. He wears panties. He's a grandma thumper. He likes his rabbits. Nothing crazy like that, but that's how The Rock is, and that's how The Rock has always been. His shtick, his gimmick has always been about making fun of the other guy, not cutting them down and selling the match. And I think a lot of the crowd realized that. And when they realized that, that's when they got turned off by it. I think that's why they didn't really care for the Rock concert. They didn't really care at all for anything until Rock actually started cutting a promo. And stopped trying to be funny. And stopped trying to entertain the fans and actually remembered that this is wrestling, not entertainment. And then once Punk came out, what did he do? He went down there and he fought him. He beat on The Rock, and The Rock beat on him. That's what the fans wanted to see. Not a 15-minute bullshit story and song and kiss and dance, wang and tang. They don't want to see that. They wanted to see Punk and Rock punching at each other, exchanging words, not Rock singing. And I know that's what they were going to get, but I just don't think it worked. And I think, to answer your question, Slam Vader, it's not that Raw dragged on, it's just when you got to the ending segment, it was kind of meh. We expected more, and we didn't get it. We expected more. Last week was mostly wrestling and build. This week was kind of a mixture of the two. We got a little taste of what was good and thought that's what we were going to get this week, and we didn't. And I think that's why I felt like it dragged on, which is kind of unfortunate, but not every single Raw is going to be like that. And I think another big problem is it was the 20th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. Where were the stars? Well, Austin was doing another project. Shawn Michaels was in Las Vegas doing another project. No one knows what Taker was. He's probably still at home recovering. There wasn't a lot of star power. There weren't a lot of celebrities on the 20th anniversary of Raw. So everything that they were saying, or that the dirt sheets were saying that was going to be big and stupendous, no. It was just a Monday Night Raw with nothing special. Honestly, it was a Monday Night Raw with nothing special, which is, again, kind of unfortunate. That's how the anniversary shows always are. They're never anything special. You might get a one, return from a wrestler, and that's about it. That's all you're going to get, which, again, kind of unfortunate. I thought Raw was okay. I didn't think it sucked as bad as everybody else says it did, but, it's wrestling. It's Raw. It's WWE. Don't expect great things from them every single time. And especially when you have a guy like The Rock who doesn't need to be there and doesn't need to make commitments and can't come up with a promo on his own. He's going to do his normal shtick, and I think the fans, like I said, are getting tired of it. And it's about time. And that's going to do it all for this week's episode of That Wrestling Show. I thank everyone for tuning in. And I thank everyone for joining us in the chat room for, of course, Monday Night Raw. And, of course, all of the pay-per-views. A lot of fun happening in the chat room lately. A lot of people popping in, a lot of people popping out because, of time restraints and everything, because East Coast, West Coast, and all that stuff, because that's where I'm in. I'm on the West Coast. You guys are on the East. So once it hits midnight, of course, you guys are tired and you want to go to bed. It's a whole lot of fun. I thank everyone for subscribing and spreading the word. We will see you all next time. I am DM from That Wrestling Show saying, until next time, I'll see you then.